eat some chili. I love
the labels, say it loud. We only eat the righteous food groups, veggies and fruit juice. Feel my typical produce, fresh in the froze food, fried fish with lemon, steak ribs and grilled chicken. I'm at the summertime cookout with real women, righteous women that feed their kids with righteous living. Cause fast food's the last food for growing chillin'. Up in the morning, eggs, toast and grits, beef but no pork, cause that's against grits. See, man should not live by bread alone. Beef, chicken and fish, but leave milk alone. No shrimp, no crab, no catfish or lobster. Scallops or shark, no swordfish or oyster. Cow tongue, liver, gizzards and pig chitlins. Killing you slow, but my people just won't listen. Drink more water, it grows sons and daughters. A little exercise to make your size larger. Herbs is natural, God give up the healing. Circling in moderation, man, woman, and children. Read Leviticus 11 for the dietary laws for y'all. See this all scripture unnecessary. Eat to live, just don't live to eat. A fast on food and drink bills for Z is righteous and biblical, no, not political. Laws for intake, truth, holy and spiritual. Eat to live, just don't live to eat. Keep your mind, body, and soul complete. Take care of your shrine. The Most High resides in the minds of the pure, the hearts of the wise. So eat to live, just don't live to eat. The spirit so will ever flesh is so weak. Don't cheat yourself. Good health and long days. Eat to live, and God give the praise. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses, an abomination. This is the law of the beast and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten. Well, here we go. Shalom, shalom, peace. Good evening, brothers and sisters of the 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. It's your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name IQ is all the same. DSTM episode 236. Small little take I want to drop off on y'all, man. Put a little something on the plate for y'all to eat. No pun intended. No pun intended. But I did make mention in episode 235 that I was going to give a little bit of information that I came across regarding, the whole world now should be under understanding that lab grown meat, human cells are being, created in labs. Bioengineered entities are being created. I mean, it's a lot of mad scientist operations going on right now, and I've been tracking this for a while. It's just becoming even more put out on front lines for information seekers to get, retrieve, receive, share. So I just wanted to go over some information. Many people are looking at, and we hear about lab grown meats. People saying, "Well, who's making them? I'm gonna share with y'all right now a list of the companies, brand names that are creating lab grown meats. Um, Share this with your friends and family. You know, get this information out there because coming down the pipeline, not only are they targeting the meats, but eventually they are working on lab grown fruit. They're already been able to develop fruit cultures, which are kind of like cells, right? They haven't been able to fully develop fruit in itself. However, they're working on it. They're working on it. Best believe. So we'll look at a few things real quick. Just going to share a couple of articles with y'all, and then you can take it, run with it, and build your own portfolio of information as the spirit leads you. All right. Let me share my screen this way, and let's look at this. So this is from a website called labgrownmeat.com. This is the list of companies creating lab grown meat. So many people want to know, well, where, how can I avoid it? Who's making it? Well, I'm gonna help you out. Okay.
So reading this, it says lab-grown meat companies are considered some of the hottest startups around today. The hottest startups. So let let you know, man, this is trending. Anytime you start seeing things that are trending, man, go the other way. Let me get a couple scriptures real quick on that. Exodus 23. I guess that ain't gonna work. How about we just do it this way? My spelling is off right now. I guess it's been a long day. So let's look at this here. Exodus 23, verse 2. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause of decline after many rest to judgment." The main point we want to pull out within this law is not following a multitude to do evil. When there's a multitude of people who are doing things that are incorrect, doing things that are non biblical, nonsensical, going against moral law, civil law, going against dietary, going against agricultural law. We have laws within the scriptures in regards to how we're to develop our agriculture, how we're supposed to be developing and building up our gardens. The Most High tells us in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. We're not going to go there, but we've covered it in times past. And if y'all need them precepts, reach out. We can give them. But for time's sake, the Most High tells us that we're not to mix seed or, diverse seeds aren't supposed to be blended together. So we're not supposed to be creating a new brand of fruit or vegetable, right? The scriptures even tell us that when we enter a land, we're supposed to chop down only the trees that were not used for meat. So even when it comes down to destruction of particular trees or whatnot, the Most High gave us instructions. Okay, so looking at the opportunities that are now being presented by the so-called white man in America and some of these European scientists, they're trying to establish that this is the new thing. This is what's hip now. This is what everybody's into. If everybody's into it, you need to be out of it. Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight great gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. See, because straight is the gate, narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So, in regards to the knowledge of salvation, those who are really seeking to worship the Father in spirit and truth, as John 4 and the 24th verse advises us to do, it says few people are going to be able to do that. There's going to be a wide gate that people are going to be ushering into, trying to follow the crowd, trying to keep up with the trends, trying to make sure that they stay in alignment with what's happening now. They don't want to deal with the past. They don't want to do what our forefathers were supposed to be doing. See, that's why the Most High told us in Jeremiah 6. We don't want to do this. Verse 16, thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where is a good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. See that? So let's get back to this article here. So again, it's saying lab grown meat companies. Uh-oh. It's lucky, y'all. It's looking like my screen wasn't sharing. Good thing I double checked. Let me get back over here. I thought I was sharing and I was not. I apologize. Let me get back over here. Okay. So y'all heard the scriptures. We just read Jeremiah 6:16, right? We read Matthew 7:13, and we read Exodus 23 and 2. So you can write those down just to go along with what I've been talking about thus far. So here's the website I was making mention of and the article, labgrownmeat.com. Okay. It says lab grown meat companies are considered some of the hottest startups around today. With the daunting climate crisis arriving, conventional meat's ethical burdens have created a pathway for lab grown meat to become the future. Become the future, right? Now, I did a class a couple years ago. I've been bringing this type of information out for years on end. But a formal class, you can look in the search bar within our YouTube channel if you have not seen it already regarding death on the plate. I can't remember the exact titling. If I find it after this video, I'll put it in the description if you're seeking it out. But regarding the food wars that we're encompassing on, And our enemies, man, are destined to take over the food and agricultural sector of our lives. So here we go. And it's always based around, the climate crisis. Conventional meat's ethical burdens have created a pathway for lab grown meat to become the future. Why they say that? Because they say that I think it's the ethanol that the cows fart. They say it affects the environment, and all kind of foolishness. It's a lot of folly going on. Okay, so they're saying we got to get rid of the cows so we can create lab grown meat. Since the first lab grown meat burger was created in 2013 for $325,000, the industry has continuously been driving down costs, leading to further investments and potential for market success. Here's a list of the companies manufacturing lab grown meat. So some of these are in different countries. I'm going to try to focus in on the ones that's here in America, in Babylon, and we'll go from there. Okay. So you see in different countries they still got to work the Aleph Farms, in Israel. But here we go. Delaware, because animals created the first lab grown meat pet food with a growth serum growing process that doesn't include FBS and unfermented culture products. Their lab grown meat pet food is planned for release in 2021. So that's already been out there. Some of these are just based upon pet foods. Some are actually being developed for human consumption. Here's another one. Blue Nalu in San Diego. the rapid growing, the rapidly progressing Blue Nalu creates seafood lab grown meat to reduce conventional fishing and plastics in the ocean in our meals. They create cell based yellowfish, which is said to cook as well as the real thing. Their other production goals include tuna, amberjack, and red snapper. Notice how I don't know what an amberjack is, but you see lawful um, fish that are being consumed. They ain't attacking the catfish. They ain't worried about shark and dolphin. They want to get the stuff that we eat, right? Tuna. Some say, oh, tuna don't have scales. Yes, they do. They're microscopic. If you look them up and look into the biology of the tuna, they do have scales. Okay, but anyway, they're working and making lab grown seafood. Continuing on, it says their mission is to be the global leader in cellular aquaculture, providing consumers with great tasting, healthy, safe, and trusted cell based seafood products that support the sustainability and diversity of our ocean. Yeah, see, here they are allowing the plastics to go on, contaminating the waters. They just went ahead and gave the okay and green lighted the Fukushima nuclear power plant that got ruptured back in 2011 on a Japanese earthquake, the earthquake in Japan. They just gave them the okay to dump that radioactive water into the Pacific. So who's really destroying the damn waters and the fish? And even back then in 2011, 2012, they were finding mutated fish, dead fish washing up on the shores in Alaska, floating all the way through the Pacific from Japan all the way over here. High amounts of mercury and radiation in the fish. And here they are saying, "Oh, well, that's man-made fault, you know." But let us go ahead on and make you some frankenfish. You dig what I'm saying? So let's continue. With impressive plans to produce 18 million pounds of seafood every year from 2025, Blue Nalu is the founding member of the Alliance for Meat, Poultry, and Seafood Innovation. Notice what it said. They're starting with seafood, but meat and poultry is on their agenda. They're looking to be the leader. 18 million pounds of seafood. And what would they say? Well, look at the population growth. We need to be able to be more innovative to help feed the homeless, feed the hungry third world countries. The fly eating Africans over there. We got to give them nice, fresh, lab grown frankenfish. How about that? There's always going to be an excuse to make everybody submit and say, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, praise the white man. Let's go ahead on and kiss his rear end because he's so innovative in creating new lab grown frankenfoods. Let's continue. Bond Pet Foods, Boulder, Colorado. Bond Pet Foods. It creates snappable protein pack animal free treat bars for dogs. Although not an anti meat company, they aim to bring in a sustainable, responsible, nutritious foods that protect the planet and animals. Isn't that nice? How about in the Bay Area? Finless foods. Finless. What's the law say in Leviticus 11:6? The law tells us that every fish that we are to consume lawfully must have fins and scales. The fact that they even name the company Finless should tell you stay the hell away from these people. Okay. Let's look at this. Finless Foods was the first company to create um, lab grown fish back in 2017. They focus on growing bluefin tuna from immortal cell lines, which will rule out the need to collect future fish samples. Finless Foods know how to grow muscle, fat, and connective tissue from bluefin tuna and are one of the true lab grown fish innovators. So, for those that partake in or enjoy tuna or whatnot, find out if it's manufactured from Finless Foods because they are fake foods. They're not gonna say it's fake. Oh, it came from immortal cell lines. We're using the cells from actual tuna. We're just reduplicating it, and it's endless. So don't say it's not real. It's real. It just doesn't grow. It wasn't growing up in the ocean naturally. It wasn't conceived naturally. You know, that's the games they play. Let's look at this. Just in San Francisco, formerly known as Hampton Creek, Just is well regarded for its vegan alternatives, but has been developing chicken and Wagyu lab grown beef. Just aims to create high quality cultured beef that will be sold in the same places you can find conventionally produced Wagyu. Notice Wagyu is the new hot craze when it comes down to beef, steak, hamburgers, Wagyu. I think who was it? One of these fast food. Oh, Arby's advertising. Oh, we got the Wagyu burger. And then when you look at the fine print, it says 58% Wagyu, the other, 42% is regular beef. But they advertise it, it says a Wagyu burger because it supposedly has Wagyu beef, but it's not 100%. Just look at the fine print on that commercial. That's the games that they play. It's the same way that they do when they labeling things organic, when they labeling things, mainly organic. It may have one organic ingredient, everything else could be artificial, and they sit back and label it organic. They can get by with that with the FDA standards. Whole Foods got busted doing that years ago. A number of different companies got busted doing the same thing. They were told they had to be a little bit more transparent, put a little bit more information on your packaging, you know. But this is the type of stuff that goes on. So, Just Foods in San Francisco, I believe this is the company that also has a couple of restaurants already on deck, telling them, "Send us your chicken. We're ready to go." Memphis Meats in San Francisco as well is famous for successfully producing and taste testing fried chicken, beef meatballs, and duck lab grown meat. Their team believes products will be available for purchase in 2021, 2022. Memphis Meats has raised more than 20 million US dollars from funding, including, oh, look at this. Good old Bill Gates. Good old Bill Gates. Kimball Musk and Richard Branson. Okay. So notice this is a little dated article, but this is what I just came up on it. So some of this is already in effect. Some of this is already in effect. Look at this. Mission Barns out of Berkeley, California. They develop lab grown fat, including duck, pork, and chicken. Another one, New Age Meats in Berkeley, produces the first ever cell based pork sausage within 2 months of formation. Wild Type, San Francisco. Notice everything is up in the Silicon Valley area where all the tech is, where all the nerds, Revenge of the Nerds, all that's going on over there, man. The Frankensteins is up in there, man, drumming stuff up. Berkeley, San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? Let's look at this. Wild Type, San Francisco. Showcase the first ever salmon, lab grown meat, with a single salmon roll costing $200 to produce. They've since received over $16 million in funding on their road to create sustainable, clean salmon. So now, even looking for fresh salmon, if it's made by wild type, put it back. Put it back. All right. So that's a list of what I was able to compile as of right now. You can always go back, rewind the video, pause it, write down the names. Research some of these companies. Where are they shipping? You may not be in California, but that doesn't mean that they're not shipping their meats into different states or countries. Okay, so there you have it. Let's look at the fruits real quick. Lab grown fruit cultures could yield new superfoods. So they're just talking about right now the next thing on their list. So, like I said last weekend, nobody's safe. Nobody's safe on the list. As of right now, they have not been able to fully reduplicate a fruit as per se, one that's fully matured, grown from a tree, but they are working on it. They're building up the cultures that are necessary to create a lab grown uh, fruit. All right. So let's look at this. Finnish scientists have produced nutritious and flavorful plant cell cultures from fresh fruits, paving the way for new lab grown superfood ingredients, Nutrition Insight reports. So when they're creating these cultures and able to taste them, they're kind of making like dust and stuff like that, when you're making a smoothie that they're able to taste. But making whole fruits, they're working on it. It's on the way. The culture plant cells were produced from ligonberry, cloudberry, and stoneberry and were found to have even higher nutritional value than fresh berries. No, they're even better than the natural. See that? The researchers from Finland's VTT Technical Research Center said the cultures were higher in protein and fiber and were also rich in polyphenols and unsaturated fatty acids. The researchers claim that cultures like fresh fruits and could be used in fresh or dried form to make caviar like fruit compote, smoothies, and snack foods. Isn't that nice? So you see where it's going, okay? And why is this important? Because notice this, language, not only is gender languages changing, not only are we dealing with a whole culture war regarding gender, but there's also a war that goes on amongst dietitians and lifestyle experts and lifestyle people. If you notice on well, I have because I look into, sometimes I watch some health based, YouTube channels or whatnot, or maybe a documentary, something like that, And I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a herbalist or master herbalist or whatever, but I do subscribe to what in naturopathic and homeopathic methods. Been doing so in my household for damn near 20 years now, regarding, herbal supplements, minerals, utilizing herbs for, medicines, things of that nature, man, preventative cares, uh, you know, dieting is still a work in progress. You're trying to avoid and fight everything that we do get out there, but even that becomes a problem. But for the most part, uh, you know, my wife and I, household, we try to make sure that we have some herbal and naturopathic uh, supplements and things in the home that we sustain ourselves by. So I'm not knocking anybody's diet choices. However, there's always there seems to always be a particular war. Romans 14 deals with that regarding one that eats meat and the other one eats herbs. We don't get caught up in the politics of labeling and shaming somebody because of their dietary choices outside of ones who decide to go unlawful routes for their diets, breaking the laws of the diet as it pertains to Leviticus 14 and Deuteronomy 14 and Leviticus 11, right? But in my YouTube feeds of recent, I've been seeing uh I don't know if it's a newer trend, how long it's been going on, but this article is from 2017. So apparently it's been happening for a while. It's just now really getting legs. You may see some doctors and homeopathy, naturopaths or whatnot, and fruit, what do they call it, fruitarianism. People that are only surviving and eating fruits, right? I'm seeing people doing watermelon challenges, only eating watermelon for a month. I saw a video of a brother doing. He said that he only ate fruit for like 100 and some odd days, and of course, everybody wants to know the results. What happened? How did it change your life? It made you lose weight. What did it do for you? This becomes the the extreme version of, well, oh, you're a raw vegan. Well, guess what? I'm a fruitarian. You know, it always starts off with, oh, I'm a carnivore. Okay, I'm not a carnivore. I'm an omnivore. And then you slowly, the way that the wars go on. Oh, well, I'm vegetarian. Then the next level, I'm a vegan. Next level, I'm a raw vegan. Now it's a fruitarian. You know, and sometimes people can get lost in the sauce in regards to um, labels and diet. Why am I bringing this out? Because our enemies have honed in on these trends, and that's why in the beginning we talked about, and I brought out the scriptures in regards to following trends, following others, following the crowd, following where the wide gate is, following multitudes. Because our enemies, man, they deal with algorithms, they deal with predictive programming, they deal with trying to understand the mentality, doing social experiments and things of that nature, trying to see where people are going, trying to redirect the crowd, trying to move the herd. I mean, if we're sheeple, as they would consider us, they're trying to direct the herds where they want them to go, where everybody wants to go. So now that they're picking up on, oh, they're avoiding our meat, they're avoiding our vegetables. Now they're trying to be fruitarians. Well, we can go help them with that too. Let's start getting these lab grown fruit cultures going so that we can make sure that we get them. Nobody's exempt. Nobody's exempt. Fruitarianism. What happens when you eat nothing but raw fruit, and why do people do it? Here he is. Fruitarianism is not a diet, but a way of life. It's not about losing weight or detoxing. It's a lifestyle. As some who tried it out, however, I can say I also think it's bonkers. Fruitarianism involves, as its name would suggest, eating nothing but fruit with a sprinkling of nuts and seeds thrown in. People do it in different degrees, but the general rule is that your diet should consist of at least 75% raw fruit by weight and 25% nuts and seeds. Is considered a subset of raw veganism. See that? It's a subset. It's broken off of being a raw vegan. Now you're leaving off of, the vegetables and everything else. We're just going straight fruits and nuts. And again, if that's your life, that's what you're doing, so be it. I'm not knocking you. All I'm saying is, our enemies know as well. And they're keying in on your diet as well as mine to tamper with, to infiltrate, and to hopefully, if however they're creating it, defile our bodies. Okay. So this is why we see it. So the lab grown cultures are being made, right? Um, and just look at this article. Just as something to show where and how it's being considered in different countries. In the face of climate change and food insecurity, New Zealand considers lab grown fruit. Scientists will attempt to create fruit without the parts that are normally discarded, like the core of an apple or an orange pith, meaning a peel. So these lab grown fruits, they're going to, when they start developing apples with no cores, citrus fruits with no peels on them, know that those are lab grown, those are fake. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna close it there. I just wanted to show and help everybody understand and know where things are headed and where our enemies are plotting in on our diets. So the lab grown meat companies, you've got the list, and I'm sure it's probably going to be added on, from here on out. We'll see. The lab grown fruit cultures are being developed. The couple of things that's holding it back is that they're having trouble reduplicating the cells to be able to, cultivate it in a climate where they can grow it out. Plus, it's very expensive, um, a very expensive science. So they're, continuing gaining funding on it, looking into trying to establish the fruits along with the lab grown meats. I mean, good Lord, man. This is why Yahweh Shah said that the time must be cut short for the elect's sake, lest no flesh will be saved. Let's get that real quick in closing. Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and let's read verse 22. It says, we'll read 21, 22. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world." My bad. I said I wasn't sharing. Let me reshare one more time. I gotta stay on that. All right. So y'all see here. Now it says, "And except those days should be short." In Shalakin, verse 21. Excuse me. "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Um, the times that we're in right now, man, it's like, listen, we need a higher power, a supreme being to watch over, bless, and protect us from the days that are at hand, man. The scriptures let us know because the days are evil, iniquities abounding. Um, and we've got a powerful enemy in front of us, man. But he's not more powerful than our Father. He's not more powerful than our Savior, Hamashiach Yahushua, man. So stay locked in, stay focused, man. Continue doing your own research in regards to things of interest to protect your household so that you can stay vigilant, utilizing wisdom and knowledge to maintain your stability in these times of strength and salvation, to quote Isaiah 33 and 6. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Y'all be well. Take care. Shalom.